Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay. Who's leaving? Kanae. Where are you, Kanae? Kanae, you need to do this before you leave. Can you read?
Ba'ase Sham Mitzbach Lael Han Hanir E Ele Ika
Okay. Can you recognize any verb there?
Asa
Okay. Let's do this. What is your analysis?
mm,
This is Asa, you said. Please go ahead.
Kal Affix
Kyle affix
3 MSG
3 MSG.
Verb Reversive
Verb reversive.
Verb Conjunction
Conjunction.
Frequentative Verb
Oh,
then
yeah.
Sham
Conjunction and sham. All right. Meaning?
meaning and he will make
Mm-hmm. In case of verb reversive, but verb conjunction then, and you made, right? There. So you need to include the meaning of sham. So yeah, you're right. You will make something there.
he
I'm
or
sorry?
it. Is it you? He or it?
For it?
3 MS. Ah, is
What
it
are you
you?
talking
Is
about?
you? The meaning. And
Meaning
you
of
will.
a what?
Because I thought it's he will make. Is it you?
Oh yeah, no, no, no. You're right. 3 MSG, yes, and he. So I was testing you, so you pass my test. Okay, and he will make something there. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I go ahead. Anything else that you can recognize? Okay, let's just do it. Uh, what is mizbeach?
Altar.
Yes, altar. So, and he will make there an altar. Okay. Um. Okay. So then I have a question. You have, I think we missed something very important here. Talking about this, why do you think this is a fixed form?
I think imperative
Okay, Sharon, why do you think this is imperative?
because of the sure and jere, third have verb.
So
The
then this
second, yeah,
sure, and then what
yeah,
else?
the sin under the sin jere
Okay, you're
because
talking
the
about this. Oh,
yeah,
seems like you already checked the third have verb for
yes,
imperative form.
yeah,
You are correct. Actually, this one is shua. So now, first culture cannot take shua. So whenever you see composite shua under the first cultural, I mean, a cultural letter, then you need to think about and we're treated as shua. So this one is Shua, then when can he have Shua under the first root letter? Then most likely, oh, it should be imperative or infinitive construct, and that is a really good start. And in fact, you cannot really find the identical verb chart for this because you need to combine two different aspects. What are they? First guttural and third he. So if you look at first guttural for what is it, imperative form, and you will take composition like this. And then for the third he and the second vowel point should be said according to Sharon. So then let me just double check. Third he imperative. If you have your verb chart with you, please go to page 448 and take a look at it. As I think when it comes to the first guttural, I think it's okay, but just want to make sure about the second vowel point under the second letter. So 448, car, imperative. So it has schwa under the first root letter and then tsere under the second root letter. So it's not schwa and holen for the third he verb. So we are supposed to have tere under the second root letter. So in this case, you are right, Sharon. So tere under the second root letter is the what is a confirmation of imperative. And regarding one more time, the presence of shua under the first root letter is changed to composite shua because of I, the guttural letter. So do you understand? And then another question is, why do we have pata under the conjunction verb? As I said, it affects this preceding vowel points. Okay, so that's the reason. So in fact, everything was right, and except the form. So it should be calm and imperative, and therefore it's not 3 MSG, but it should be what is it?
2
2 MSG. And Bath conjunction then, and then sham also as a special what is it form, meaning should be then what? And parenthesis, you build there. Or you can simply say and build there. So building what? As he said, on altar. Okay? So what is this? Anybody?
Preposition?
to the
Yeah, preposition lamed. So for or to. And what about this?
Yeah.
how?
What?
So
God.
yeah, to God or for God. But it comes with commit. Why is that? Definite article he is there too. But since the dagesh cannot take an aleph cannot take its dagesh, so it's lengthened to comments. So two or four, the God. Okay, let's move on. And this is another verb actually. Can you recognize anything there? What can you see? Oh, let's just guess the letters.
Ra.
Yes. How did you know? This is la.
It's ODS.
Okay. And your vocabulary. Then the question is, oh, okay, it's good that we have known this. We have memorized this one. And I know the word la. And we have two preceding components. And what is your analysis? Two.
Nisel.
Sorry?
Nisel.
Nifil?
Yes.
What is nifil?
Nifal.
Nifal. So
Nifal?
you put
Oh.
together it's nifal and kifil together. So creating new because you can see Hifil and Nifal, so it's called Nifil. Oh, that's good. Okay, so All right. It's quite interesting. It's a good point. Uh, what is your analysis? Okay, it seems like it should be okay. We have preformative hair, looks like, and then even noon. So it's good. Worth to start from two possibilities in terms of the stem. So he feel or define. And what is it then? If you think this one is preformative have for the Hefei stem, there is no reason for us to have this one. Am I right? Is there any case for us to have noon in the beginning? Or maybe then what is it? Prefix pronoun? In fact, for the prefix pronoun, the hair will not be remaining. Hair will be dropped off. Do you remember? He-feel prefix form will not carry the preformative he. Do you remember? So in this case, it cannot be he-feel, right? Because of the presence of noon. Then probably this is not he-feel, but Nephi. Or you can even think about the possibility of what? Prefix pronoun 1C PF. So it's really important for us to come up with all those possible, options. Okay. So then the question is, okay, this one, if we stay with prefix pronoun ni, then is there any reason for us to have he in the beginning? No, not at all. So it's not prefix pronoun nun either. Okay. Then the last possibility is what? Defy stem and preformative nun. All right. Then what is the case that we can have hair in the beginning of the verb?
Definite article.
Great. You got it. Definite article hair. And it's exactly the same. Hair, pata, and dagish. So now, what kind of form can take dagish and then definite article hair in the beginning?
Participle.
Participle. Welcome. Here, default participle definite article. Now it's okay. We had three possibilities. We thought about he feels them, we thought about default, and at the same time, prefix noon, right? And then now we ended up saying this one must be default. And what is he in the beginning? Okay, that must be definite article there. So then, without looking at the other indicators, we can guess. Oh, probably this one is default stem, and together with definite article has, so must be participle. So this is the most important lesson that we are dealing with today. So we will talk about default stem participle form. So when we are dealing with this specific form and stem, what really matters is all different indicators that vary according to what kind of weak verbs we have. After dealing with this for the strong verb, and we need to move on to other types of weak verbs. Hello, Bob, first got third hair, and those things. That's why, it's not easy, Hebrew. So, but anyway, we are going to talk about, what is expected in as the indicator of Nephi participle. Okay, so now we can say that, oh, the preformative ni will be appearing, and it's good that we can sometimes have definite article here in the beginning. Then we can easily recognize the presence of the participle form. So then we will deal with all the details in terms of the vowel pointing and secondary clues of the indicator for Nepali participle. Okay, but anyway, that's let me just put la and we say this is nifal and must be participle. And what about then PGN? We have nothing, so must be
2M.
I'm sorry,
Masculine singular.
masculine
Masculine singular.
singular. So it has no person. Special feature,
Definite
Definite
article.
article here.
right? He, definite article. Meaning? How are you going to put the meaning? So when a verb is attached to definite article he, and then it is used in the sense of a participle, then it normally refers to person doing this specific action. So we normally put uh, the translation as the one doing something, right? So this is the same idea. So it refers to a person, the people or person, it's masculine singular. So the person, what is it? The meaning of la,
To see.
to see. But
E.
in the device then, it should be the passive voice. So to be
To be
seen.
seen.
So the person who was seen. Okay. Uh, but it's quite unique. When it comes to the translation of God's action, it's not really theologically right for us to describe his action as passive. So somehow we want to use the active action in terms of carrying this nifan. So when we try to put the meaning of, be seen, how are you going to put the meaning? I think we can even use the word appear. What do you mean by God was seen by Samson? God appeared to him, something like that. You understand? So the idea is, but the literal translation will be accepted, but you prefer to describe the way, okay? The one seen to whom, to whom.
That's
L is
suffix
to, the pronoun
to you.
suffix ka, you,
To you.
right? To you. Yeah, you're right. So then how am I going to put the translation? And make an altar there to the God, and then it describes the God, the one who was seen to you, or the one who appeared to you. Is that clear? So I think in terms of the translation, I think we need to remember how we can translate the nifal meaning in terms of participle. Just to put the passive voice of the meaning. But when you have, what is it, definite article here, then it carries the same idea. It refers to person or people, okay, doing this specific action. So then, in case of person, then especially in device stem, then you need to put the one who was, what is that, passive meaning, okay? Okay, let's move on. So today's lesson is about card imperative, double weak verb, and verb conjunction, default participle, definite article, pronoun, and suffix, and preposition. So we are done, but let's go to the slides. Okay, there you go. Card imperative, first guttural, and double weak verb. So as you can see that on the left side, we have first guttural. So that's we have composition, and then hire kire composition. And for the first guttural, actually, we are supposed to, let me see. Okay, we are supposed to have actually holem above the second letter in case of just the first guttural, but it is combined together with the third head component. That's why the holem became tere. So it was conformed by Sharon. So actually, this is the form. So anyway, we have composition, 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 and e, u, na ending together with a specific vowel point. So you need to pay attention to this. Well, to be honest, I can't remember all those things. So what really matters is this first vowel point and remembering the fact that, oh yeah, schwa or composite schwa under the first letter has something to do with imperative or infinitive construct. So like this. And if you can see even whole name above the second letter, then it could be a good uh, okay, um, a confirmation of the imperative form. Okay, so anyway, this is it. And if you can print out and then have it or attach it to your verb chart, it will be good because we don't have a specific one in our verb chart that meets the needs of double weak verb, first cultural and the third. Hey, okay. All right, and let's move on. So asa, one more time. It should be ka stem, and the form is imperative, PGM, masculine singular, special feature verb conjunction, meaning and build. But going back to today's passage, it has a shan attached to the main verb asa through makeb. So you need to include that one as a special feature. Okay, then this is the most important lesson. The five participles are the hair verb. Now, let's look at it. So what do you expect for the third verb, the participle? First of all, we have ni in the beginning. And this one is a special ending. A, im, ot. So when it comes to MPL, FPL, it's quite straightforward because what kind of verb can be ending in im ending and ot ending? It looks like noun ending, plural, and at the same time participle form. The reason why I didn't include this one is because of the confusion that you may have. Because in terms of a, he ending, it's not only feminine singular participle. You can even have what is that? This one in the affix form. A ending, right? For what? Nothing a, ta, t, ti, u, tem, tem, nu. So a, he ending can be appearing even for 3 FSG affix form. So I'm trying to say, looking at ahe ending, you need to think about two possibilities, just in generally speaking. Okay, but let's deal with this. I mean, when we look at ahe ending, and it told you might be 3F SG a fixed form or participle form.
3 MSG.
I'm sorry.
3 MSG is the same as affix. I know Ahe is a 3 FSG, but the 3 MSG affix is the same as the feminine singular participle.
Oh, are you talking about the specific ending? Because
Okay.
this one is a he. So your question is this identical to 3 MSG of fixed form?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. Because in case of 3 MSG of fixed 3 MSG of fixed form. Okay, Gala. In terms of Gala. Okay, I think you are right. Actually, we need to consider that one too. Yeah, but why? Why am I confused here? Yeah, I think we can include the possibility here too. Yes, you're right. And I think if we look at our verb chart for the third head verb page on 448, then we can just think about all those possibilities. Uh, Here, actually, prefix 3 MSG of fixed form. Oh, no. 3 MSG of fixed form. Where are you? Yeah, I think we can just include that one here. But the first vowel pointing should be different. Before moving on to the other secondary clue, then I think we can just include that one as well. Yeah, you're right. And then ni can be understood as the preformative ni for Nephi stem. So you are right. But then let's move on to the secondary clue. Okay, talking about then 3 MSG of fixed form. And what do you expect? Let's just move on to our verb chart and let's just deal with what was mentioned by Pierce. And we need to go to Nephi. Is that we have Nephi there? Nephi, and then I'm sorry, where are you? What's wrong? Sorry. All right. So this one looks like even. I need to show you this. Let me show you the bulk chart. Page 448. Can you see this? So now it's Nephi and the city MSG of fixed form, and then they mentioned by Pierce and recognize it correctly. So this one even can be, what is it? It is identical Ni, Shua, and then Kamet. I think it was identical today. Unfortunately I cannot go back to. Let me go back to it, the chart again. Why is that? I have signed this. Sorry. Okay, like this. Hmm? Okay, it's quite interesting. I think it's identical. So now you can see the Ni, Shua, and Comets. Okay, let's remember this. Ni, Shua, Comets. And I want to go back to the verb chart again. Here, 3 MSG of fixed form also carry this. It's identical. So now you can see that even this one can be considered as the first 3 MSG of fixed form, which means for the third head verb, there is no difference between 3 MSG of fixed form and FSG participle form. It's identical. Okay, then only the context will be enabling us to recognize the difference. Okay, then let's go back to what was the another possibility looking at this one. It's just focusing on about the ahe ending. So it could be even, what was that? 3 FSG affix form, right? But the thing is, we have half for the third head verb. So when it comes to the third head verb, then that's obvious. So it cannot be 3 FSG affix form for the given word. Okay. And what was the other possibility? Ahe ending. Oh, let's go to then participle form. Define participle form. Here we have FSG and then it's identical. So now we are right in recognizing two possibilities, looking at the, gel, la. So it should be either FSG participle or 3 MSG affix form. So there are two possibilities because this one is the third hair verb. And let me just go back to strong verb and then let's just take a look at it. The first stem. Strong verb, defa. Okay, 3 MSG is taking, I think this is one of the important lessons that we need to remember. Is taking ni and shua and pata. It's not comet. Okay, so it's not comets, but pata. So we can see that when it takes the third head component, pata becomes lengthened, comets. So now understanding this, then let's look at what is this? Participle form. Let's go back to participle form. Here, in case of participle form, it still takes comets. So when it comes to the third head verb, I think we just happen to realize quite important stuff. When it comes to the distinction between 3 MSG affix form and what is it? Feminine singular participle form, the second vowel point, I mean the vowel point under the second root letter is the key. Are you following me? So in other words, I'm trying to say that we normally expect kata under the second root letter for 3 MSG affix form, but in case of participle form, we expect comets under the second root letter. So I think it will help us to see the difference between 3FSG. Oh, no. I mean participle form here. Even MSG participle. Are you following me? But in case of 3FSG, and then in the third hair verb, then there is no difference between feminine singular participle and 3 MSG prefix affix form. But now, the confusion is not just about feminine singular, but look at this. I think this is the thing that we need to turn to today. How are I going to see the difference between even what is it, masculine singular participle and 3 MSG affix form? As we recognize, this one comes with the comets, and then 3 MSG affix form nipa will come with pata. I think this is quite important in order for us to see the difference between affix form and participle form. I think even dealing with the other verbs, other weak verbs, it's going to be the same. Let's take a look at it. Oh, it's getting confusing. Huh? We dealt with the strong verb, and let's move on to the first guttural. Okay. In terms of first guttural, what do we expect, especially for a fixed form? And we talk about this preformative nun together with sego. Sometimes, occasionally, we may have pata or even hirek, but most of the time, sego will appear for the first nun, first guttural verb. In terms of nifa stem, I think it's not new, but pay attention to this. It carries pata under the second root letter. And let's go down to participle form. Participle form also takes ne and then composes shua. Are you there? But the second vowel point is hamet. That's the only difference. Can you see? Okay. Then let's move on to other verb. First, Aleph is the same. You can just see the same aspect. What about first yod verb? And do you remember it will come with no? Do you remember this? No, for the first yod verb, nifai. We studied this one yesterday. And the second, the vowel point under the second root letter is pata. Now, what will happen if we go down to participle form again? Then we have kamet. Now, everything is the same except the vowel point under the second root letter. Okay? And let's move on. First yod verb, we're done. What about first nun? Nifa. It's the same. Ni preformative comes and then hata. What about participle form? Ni preformative and kamet. So see, what is the difference between 3 MSG affix and MS participle in the Nifa stem? It's the vowel point under the second root letter. So a fixed form will take pata and what is it? Participle form will take kamet. But there is a little confusion because if you are dealing with third hair, I think that you need to be really careful. Middle control will take ni, it's same, and hata under the second root letter. What about then participle? It's a comet. Can you see? Comets again. So is it pata or comets? Depending on what vowel you have between pata and comets, will be the important indicator that will help us to see if this one is a fixed form or participle form in the default stem. Let me move on. What about hollow verb? Hollow verb, Nifal was carrying na in the beginning for the affixed form. And then holem or shurek in the middle. And let's go down to participle form. So in case of participle form hollow verb, and there is no difference between them. This one is coming with na and home. So now another lesson that we just learned is this. In case of hollow verb, there is no difference between 3ms of fixed form and masculine singular participle form. Okay? All right. Let's move on then. Geminate. Don't need to do this one here. So the control, N5, it's the same. Here, Ni Shua, Pata, and then I guess it will be changed to comets. Let's go down to participle. Yes, it becomes comets. That's the only difference. So most of the time it works, except hollow verb. Okay, and then it's a further hair verb. Let me just go back and let's do this again. Third culture is the same. Third Aleph must be oh, third Aleph is different too because of the Aleph affecting the preceding vowel point. It comes with what is this? Comet. It's not pata. Okay. Third Aleph. Then let's go down to participle form. Okay. Now we can see that it's the same. So now we have two exceptions in terms of the indicator or the difference between 3MSG of fixed form and masculine singular participle form. Normally, the idea that pata will become comets when the affixed form is appearing in the participle form, okay, in the default stem. So this one works, except hello Bob and third Aleph. They are identical. So there is a reason for me to say that this Nifat is really confusing. But it's okay, as long as you can understand. One more time, uh, looking at this, let's say some words, some noun that are carrying ni in the beginning, then you gotta be careful and always think about the possibility in the fun. And you need to go to the specific verb chart and just understand what is matching in terms of a vowel point, and you can find just to stay with it. And what really matters in learning Hebrew 1 and 2 is that when you look at some explanation about the grammatical analysis, and if you can understand all those explanation, then that's it. Because you don't need to really read the Hebrew Bible when you are preparing your sermon or when you are writing your papers. So as long as you can just understand this, especially when it comes to Nifal, then I think it will be okay. But try to be familiar with all those things and just to know what to do with your verb chart. Let's move on to the last one, I guess third here. Let's pay attention to it in the time. And then even third here, this one carries comets. But I think we need to pay attention to participle form again. Where are you? Praise God. In this case, this third here participle takes sego under the second root letter. Whew. I need to learn. But we are dealing with the participle form, and I think tomorrow, I mean next Tuesday, we are going to deal with imperative, infinitive construct, and those things, and we'll be done. Oh, I think we have one more, which is prefix. So you can see the two more lessons in NIFA, and we are almost done. So now it's one of the trickiest part actually. So now we can see that in case of 3 MSG participle NIFAR, and before the third here, it'll take sego. So if you can memorize everything, just to make sure you double check what you have in your verb chart. Okay. All right. So now, unlike others, third head takes sego for the masculine singular participle in the Nepal stem. Okay. But the first two components are same, ni and shua. And more amazingly, Pierce recognized that this feminine singular participle for the third head looks identical to 3 MSG of fixed form. In case of third hair, why? Because in case of other verbs, it will not come with comments. Am I right? So that's the tricky part. And then I'm just I got curious about the third outlet. Third outlet. Let me just quickly check one thing there. Oh yeah, I see. This is not a problem anymore. Okay, so let's summarize. Okay, we're talking about the Nephi stand today in terms of participle form. So then, what are you supposed to remember? What are we supposed to remember? Preformative, ni, okay, and then shua and comet for participle form. We're talking about the vowel pointing. Am I right? In case of a participle form, define, you will come with preformative ni, shua, and then comet. Why are we dealing with only MSG participle form? Because once again, ahe ending and what is it? Im ending and ot ending will be able to help us to recognize them as a participle. But when it comes to ahe ending, of course, you also need to see it if there is any possibility of having three FSG affix form. Okay, but you can easily recognize it. I'm sure that the vowel pointing should be obviously different if you are dealing with what is it, general verb. So in case of 3 MSG affix form, it will come with ni pu I. Remember ni pu I. So ni and shua I with pata, not for comments. Okay, that is a fixed form, 3 MSG. But if you have participle form, then the a sound under the second root letter, which is pata in the fixed form, will become comments in the participle form. Okay, but this one works generally, except for the two cases. What are they? Haloba
Robert.
and third,
Okay.
third what? Third
Okay.
guttural. No, third guttural is the same. No, the third aleph. Third aleph should be, and the third head was different. Am I right? In case of third guttural, I think there was a difference, except third aleph. Where are you? Yeah. In case of third guttural, it still works. So you are going to have a pata under the second root letter for 3 MS suffix form, and participle form MSC will take comments. So this indicator will work. So the exception should be only for the hollow verb and then third aleph. Is that clear? In terms of the difference between a fixed 3 MSG and masculine singular participle form. Okay, uh, let's move on. Lesson 47. So now look at this. What are the difference? This sego is quite special then. You can see that this one is meant to be actually comet. So now you can see that this one is a special indicator of MSG participle in the first stem for the third head. Okay, this one was tricky, so you need to make sure which uh, what is it, the form is taking this hair ending. So in this case, you need to put two possibilities for the third hair, just for the third hair. This one can be even 3 MSG of fixed form and FSG Nepal participle. But im ending, ot ending is quite obvious. Let's move on. Then let's read the explanation. Ami, could you read, please? Ami, can you read? Where is Ami? Oh, yeah. Ami, are you listening to me? Ami?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you read?
Yeah. The default participle is formed with the default preformative ni, diagnostic of default participle. 1. The default preformative ni in every form. 2. Comment under the second root letter. 3. The only difference between the default affix 3ms and the default participle msg is the vowel under the second root consonant, pata in the affix, and comet in the participle.
Okay, so this is not new. We have just checked all the PowerPoint for DeFi affix 3MSG and DeFi participle MSG. So we found out that pata comes for a fixed form, and then comets comes for DeFi participle form. And then there are some exceptional cases, and what are they? Hello verb, and then third are left without verb. Yes. But generally speaking, this one will work. Um, so now we are done with this. Let's do it one more time. The stem is Nephi, form is participle, and PGN is masculine, singular, special feature, informative, no, definite article, he. Meaning is the one who was seen, or who is seen. So the tense should be determined by the main verb in the context. So now we are supposed to take a look at the difference between 3ms of fixed form and then participle form, dealing with different types of weak verbs such as third hair, first yod, first noon, first god, troll, and hollow verb. So now, except hollow verb, the third hair, first yod, first noon, and first guttural will take different types of uh, indicator, but most time it will work. If you think, okay, the vowel point under the second root letter is kamet for participle in the Nepal stem. And preformative ni, and what else? Shua, so ni pu I. Right, I think this is what you have to remember. But in case of third Heba, we had sego instead of kamet under the second letter. So translation, and make there an altar for or to God, the one who appeared to you. So once again, it's up to you. If you wanna use the return translation of S voice, then just use the word who was seen to you. Okay. KJV, and make there an altar unto God that appear unto thee, NAB, and build an altar there to the God who appeared to you, NIV, and build an altar there to God who appeared to you. Okay, I think there is no really big difference between those English translations. Oh, okay, we are done today. All right, Teacher Labaya.
Mm. The assignment for today is on page 213. Page 213, number 1, number 2, 3, and 4. Page 213, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've opened it on Moodle, so you can find it there.
All right. As a confirmation, uh, the assignment of the translation part, I think it was given yesterday on lesson 46, right? It should be submitted to Professor Labaya through Moodle, right?
Yeah, yes.
So lesson 46 should be submitted to the Moodle.
Mm.
And lesson 45, you didn't have the translation assignment. Do you remember? Elabaya just put the assignment before our class ends, and then I gave you the confirmation, a clarification that you just work on the analyzing exercise for the letter D. So when it comes to your assignment for the lesson 45, you don't have any translation assignment, but only letter D. So some of you did the exercise, the translation exercise. Okay, good for you. You know, you're becoming better student. But the official assignment is letter D, page 206. Okay, but anyway, so when I ask you to submit your assignment of lesson 45, I meant letter D, and then it should be submitted to me through Messenger, Facebook Messenger. Is that clear? So if you have not submitted your assignment for the lesson 45 to me, please do it as soon as possible. Okay. And for information, day submission always is given a little deduction to the day submission. So you have to be really diligent enough. But if you have any situation, special excuse, just to give me, the notice in advance, then I will take it into consideration. Do you have any question today? Any question? Okay, let's try to summarize the five. We have dealt with this in terms of affix form. So the first lesson of the device stem was affix form. So the preformative noon and then each vowel point were the key aspects that we have to pay attention to. But now you can see that when we are dealing with different forms, then we need to start looking at the secondary vowel point. Otherwise, you cannot recognize whether this one is a fixed form or a prefix form. And prefix form is quite straightforward, but imperative or participle. So we have dealt with two forms so far under the area of the Nephi stem, a fixed form and participle form. What really makes us confused is weak verbs. After learning the most important indicator of this suffix form, we need to learn another thing for hello Bob, for first got troll, first noon. Oh man, but don't be too much discouraged. Look at me, I'm also confused, but it's okay. As long as you understand how it works, that's what matters. So don't give up and just hang in there, and we will be able to finish this journey together. I need to really encourage you so that you will continue your Hebrew 3. All right. I want to make sure that I will have you all without losing anybody. Okay. So it's a Friday again. So let's enjoy our weekend. And those who need to go back to your country, I will continue to pray for the preparation for your trip. And we will also continue to pray for Stephen and that the result of the test will be turning out negative. Okay.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
then who
boss.
else? And please do pray for me until the day of your final exam because I will take my final exam as well before your final exam. So that's fair then. Okay. So gonna see you next Tuesday and there is no vocabulary quiz. So but don't say hallelujah too early because you have to start memorizing all the vocabulary for your oral placement on December. When was that? 4? Okay. The day is coming soon. Oh, all right. So Have a nice weekend and see you next week. Bless you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.